Anna and Vronsky had another fierce argument about whether or not to go to the country. Anna felt that Vronsky's love had diminished and began to suspect that he might be in love with someone else. What was Vronsky thinking? He regretted it. He had put himself in such a difficult situation for Anna, but to him, Anna did not ease this difficulty. Instead, she had intensified it. Their arguments ended in failure each time, and they no longer shared their thoughts with each other, falling deeper into suspicion and doubt. The next morning, they continued the argument from the previous night, marking their longest quarrel. Anna's heart had reached the point of utter despair. Whether or not they went to the country, whether Karenina agreed to the divorce, or whether the child could be with her had become irrelevant. The only thing she now wanted to do was punish Vronsky. That evening, when she entered the study and saw Vronsky sleeping peacefully, Anna couldn't help but cry. She loved him so much, more than anything. But thinking of her lover's cold gaze made her heart spasm. Anna spent the entire night unable to sleep. It was truly a heart-wrenching moment. The next day, Vronsky asked her, "We'll go back to the country tomorrow, won't we?" Anna turned around and coldly said, "You go, I won't. You will regret it." Vronsky saw Anna's desperate look, but did nothing. He left, getting into a carriage. Hearing his departure, Anna was tormented and quickly wrote a note for the servant to chase after Vronsky. The note read, "I was wrong. For God's sake, come back quickly, I'm scared." This was Anna's moment of breakdown. But the servant returned with the news that the note hadn't been delivered. Vronsky had gone to the Lower City train station. Anna immediately took a train to the Lower City station, with no one noticing the fear-stricken face beneath her veil. Upon arriving in the Lower City, she learned that Vronsky had been there and had left with 2 women. At the same time, she received a reply from Vronsky, scrawled with, "I'll return at 10 o'clock tonight." Anna's mind was haunted by the thought, "He doesn't love me anymore. Even if I get a divorce and become his wife, what difference will it make? If love is gone, even if they have a legitimate relationship, would Anna feel fulfilled?" She then thought, "I make him unhappy, and he makes me unhappy. He cannot change, and neither can I. Our love is dead." Realizing this reality, Anna walked to the tracks and stopped next to the passing train. She looked at the towering iron wheels of the first car and calculated how to position herself precisely underneath, but it was too late. When the next car arrived, neither too early nor too late, Anna threw herself under it. At that moment, she was terrified and wanted to get up, but the relentless, massive object was coming down on her with heavy force. She no longer had to worry about Vronsky not loving her. Anna was dead. When she committed suicide on the tracks, Vronsky's coachman witnessed the entire event. When Vronsky received the news and rushed into the train station like a madman, he saw Anna's bloody body surrounded by strangers, sprawled out on a large table without any shame. Anna's head remained intact, leaning back with half-closed eyes, showing a terrifying and strange expression. Her mouth was half open, with a trace of sadness at the corner, as if she were saying to Vronsky the words she often said during their arguments. "You will regret this. Wherever you are, I will be there too." Vronsky had never imagined that Anna would actually do this. She truly was willing to sacrifice her life for love, making him regret it. And now she had fulfilled that wish. Vronsky remembered their first encounter, which had also been at the station, where Anna's mysterious, charming, and tender look had completely captivated him. But now, what appeared before him was Anna's fierce and vengeful expression from their last departure. Vronsky collapsed in shock, and when he awoke, he seemed dazed. After Anna's death, Karenina also attended her funeral and requested to take Anna's daughter, as she was legally Karenina's child. At this point, Vronsky, utterly despondent, agreed to everything. For 6 weeks afterward, Vronsky spoke not a word. If not for his mother's pleading, he might not have eaten anything at all. Vronsky's mother harbored a deep hatred for Anna. She saw Anna as a shameless woman, whose reckless stubbornness was merely a way to prove her uniqueness. But her ultimate fate was the same as that of all fallen women. Vronsky's mother often frowned and disdainfully remarked to others, "This woman even chose a despicable and degrading way to die. She ruined herself, ruined her husband, and as if that wasn't enough, she destroyed everything Vronsky had. Vronsky gave up everything for her, his future, his mother." More than 2 months after Anna's death, the Serbian War began, and Vronsky decided to return to the military and go to the battlefield. Thus, his scandal was suddenly forgiven by the public because he became a heroic figure again, which countered the previous scorn and criticism from high society. When friends came to see him off, Vronsky said, "As a tool, I might still be of some use, but as a person, I am already dead." Anna's earth-shattering suicide also impacted many others. For instance, Levin developed new insights into life and death. He began to realize that what he feared was not death, but living in a state of confusion. So, that spring after Anna's death, Levin threw himself into agricultural work, sought serfdom reform, and began writing. He strived to escape his vague state, aiming to find clarity and live authentically according to his inner beliefs. And so, the most sensational affair in literary history comes to an end. Anna died for love, Vronsky went to the battlefield, and Levin found his faith. So why has Anna Karenina remained immortal? It showcases not only the confusion faced by women of that era, but also how women lived during that time, and how society viewed emotions, marriage, and family. Even today, some people still find Anna's actions utterly incomprehensible. But Anna has never represented just one person. For over a century, she has symbolized a group. They struggle with love, wrestle with marriage, and such issues exist in varying degrees across different eras, countries, and families. Why did Tolstoy sympathize so deeply with Anna? He wrote this story to reveal its tragedy, but he didn't stop there. After reading this novel, you'll find that Tolstoy was not just concerned with fate, but with the reasons behind it. What causes such fate? Was Anna simply love-obsessed? I think we can discuss this with fellow readers here. Personally, I believe that a bit of love obsession is necessary in life. Otherwise, it would be boring if it's all about profit. When you're in a relationship and constantly calculating how not to lose out, you're engaging in a disingenuous, discounted form of love. Ultimately, love is an inner feeling, and only by investing wholeheartedly in a relationship can one's experience be real and complete. I once had a conversation with Professor Liang Yong-an from Fudan University. He said, "I always believe that the world may let you down, others may let you down, but you must never let yourself down." I really like this statement. For Anna, in her time, there were very few things she could control. The same applies to us now. Everyone has their own unfulfilled desires, and many things are beyond individual control. Success and failure aren't guaranteed by efforts and a positive attitude alone. So what can one decide? Only the purity of their own feelings. Professor Liang Yong'an says, "Life should be thorough and sincere, and the soil in which love thrives cannot be devoid of these qualities." But nowadays, what many call love is actually being loved, keeping up appearances, or giving up. How much genuine love is really there? Some people start complaining about their partner's flaws as soon as love is mentioned, but rarely reflect on themselves or consider what has caused such difficulties. The greatest reward of love is that I have loved and felt it. That's enough. So Professor Liang Yong'an says, to gain love, one must first have the ability to love. It's like a solemn ceremony of surrender. In this relationship, I give you 100% of my love, maintaining absolute sincerity. If you are the right person, that's great. If not, I have no regrets. Is this too idealistic? Perhaps opinions will vary. If you have different thoughts, feel free to leave a comment. We might spark more ideas together. But each generation can only complete the tasks of its own time. In Anna's era, she couldn't solve the problems of her life. What about now? We seem freer and have more choices, but many choices can also lead to dilemmas. So, whether man or woman, everyone may have a battlefield deep in their heart, and that battle is often yours alone, very lonely and difficult. In my view, the awakening of female strength, or any individual's strength, lies in your own feelings. Whether life is worthwhile is not determined by how someone treats you, or whether you gain others' approval or success, but by whether you can live true to yourself in this imperfect world, live sincerely, and create your own value. I hope you can read this book, Karenina,